Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on today. So I just want to check you can see it all okay. Emily, I can see Emily East. I can see you there. Can you see screen fine? All good. You can just see my screen, not all my. Excellent. Thanks. I don't know if anyone saw my stories, but I said I'm great doing webinars. I love sharing information. What I do stress about the most is that the tech stuff doesn't work. So hopefully I'm all good. If the slides aren't sharing properly too, just let me know as we go. And yeah, you can keep me going there. So I just want to thank you all for jumping on today. During the middle of the day too, I know you're all super busy and you've got things going on. If you can't stay for the whole call, it's fine. I am recording and you will get the replay straight away. So again, just thanks so much for being here. And just on learning how to get organised for 2024, because we do know we do only have 6 months left of the year. It's gone super fast. Don't know how we've ended up halfway through June already, but we've still got plenty of time to get where we want to go for the rest of the year. So I hope you are ready to get, to get organised, to get systemised, and just to put some structure into your days. If we haven't met before, my name is Danny Stevens. So I'll be spending the next, say, 45 minutes with you, depends on how fast I speak. And I'd love for you to just grab a pen and a paper too, because you can take some notes. As I said, you will get the replay anyway, but if you want to take some notes on some things that you could implement straight away or that resonates with you, because I know we're all in different, different places, different situations too. So there'll be different things that do resonate with you as well. And in full transparency as well, I am going to be sharing an offer at the end of the call for those that do want to enter my world and put some, learn more about organisation, learn more about systems in all areas of your life too. So that will be at the end of the call. And anyone that does stay onto the end of the call, so I'm going to try and entice you to stay and keep you engaged through the whole thing. But if you do stay to the end, I do have a template I'm going to pop in the chat feed and give anyone for free. That's called the Life Hub, and that I'm going to share with you what it is. It's like a done for you template for a home management system. It is in my membership, but I am going to reward anyone that does stay on to the end of it. And you can just put that in, implement it straight away. So let's get started on how to go from feeling, overwhelmed to organized. So you can spend more time, you might want to spend more time on your business, or create some success, or spend more time with your family, or spend more time on yourself, whatever it is. Hopefully today I'm going to get you some of that time back so you can just feel good. And this is not just about organizing your home or organizing your business. This is about organizing your entire life too, because most of us don't do that. We just sort of focus on one area. And so I want to show you how to start, getting organized so you can finish that second half of 2024 like super organized, with everything from your health to your skincare, to your routine, to your finances, to your home, to every room in your house, to even having like all of your appointments booked, for the next year as well. That's what I want you to feel, super good about by the end of this. And I love this stuff. I love everything to do with organizing my life. And if you ask anyone in my family, it's like something I've had this constant obsession with, ever since I was little. I love the feeling of being organized. Like, I love the time it gives me. I love the money it gives me. I love the success it's been able to create me in business. I love the health and fitness I've been able to create in my life too. But one thing I do want you to know is I haven't always been able to maintain it. Like, I love it. I'd get obsessed with it. I'd try and do it, but then I'd sort of fall back into old habits as well. So I don't know if that's you too. Like, sometimes you feel like you're getting ahead, but you just go back to those old habits. And the reason why I did that, I realized, is because I didn't have the right systems in place to support me. And even though, I'm still constantly learning and getting better each year, but what I want to do today is share with you what I have implemented so far and what I have implemented to date that has worked for me. And hopefully it will change your life like it has, it has changed mine, because it's been the best thing that I've ever done. So before we get started, I just want to do a quick intro in case we haven't met before, in case, we haven't, crossed paths. So I do live in Bowen Heads with my husband. I've been married to for 23 years, which I do believe I deserve a medal for that. I've got two teenagers, Gracie, who's 17, and Finn, who is 15, both about to go up in age. My human design is a projector. If you're into that, that will probably make sense to you. I am a Cancer sign in astrology. I am a homebody. Again, if you're a friend of mine, you'll probably know that I love being at home. I do get very homesick when I'm away from home. I've been obsessed with organization since I can remember. It just honestly, it just brings me joy. I love building businesses. That's another obsession of mine. What I do love is teaching women to be super successful. And don't judge me. I do love reality TV. I do love podcasts. I do love walking my dog on the beach every morning. I love cooking. I love entertaining all of my family and friends too. That's, something I love to do. But what I want to do is just first tell you how I ended up here and doing this business now and sharing this, this with everybody, and how this wasn't, as I said, always my life too. And I promise, if you're not, if you don't feel organized at the moment, or if you feel a little bit out of control, or you feel a little bit overwhelmed, I promise I get exactly where a lot of you are at, and how you're feeling right now, because that was me. Okay. I have had multiple businesses over the past 24 years. I've been in business for myself for 24 years. I've had 2 bricks and mortar businesses, and I've had 2 online businesses. Since I can remember, and when I was sort of, organizing this webinar today, I was trying to think back to how long, and I remember being even like super, super young. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, out of high school, I honestly really didn't know what I wanted to do. I actually did year 12 twice, not because I failed, because I had to stay in there because I'm like, still don't know what I want to do. So I thought it'd be smart to do it again, which it wasn't. And even by the end of that, I still didn't know. And it's funny, like my daughter's coming out of year 12 now too, and she's in exactly the same position. But I always knew these things that I did always know. I always knew I wanted to be a mum. It was something I didn't, want a whole lot of kids, but I knew I wanted to be a mum. Like that was one thing that I knew I'd be good at. And I knew that I wanted to do, but I also knew I wanted to be super successful. And I wanted to be a businesswoman. When I was younger with my sister, I always used to play businesses, and I'd always be the owner of the business, and I'd always be running everything and leading everyone. That was what, I used to love to do. And I really didn't know anyone doing that. Like I didn't have any particularly female mentors that I was looking up to. My mum wasn't doing this. She wasn't running her own business. She was a nurse. There was no one in our world, but I knew like deep down that's what I wanted to do. And I knew that I could do it. Like I knew that was something I could do. So anyway, a bit of backstory. At 24, I opened my first business with a business partner. And that was my first experience in running a business, but literally having no money. I had massive overheads. I had staff. I worked super long hours. I'd actually built this business with no social media. There was no social media back in the olden days. There was no social media then. So I did it with that. I did it with no experience in business whatsoever. I didn't study business. I had no experience in it. I had no kids at this point too. And I was newly married, but what I did have, and this is what I believe is, some things that you need, is I did have a big vision. And you could call me a dreamer. You could call me, I think I've always been realistic in what I believe, but I've always had big vision. I've always had a great work ethic, and I've always had the willingness to learn what I needed to do, whether I had to learn the hard way or the easy way. I'd always be open to learning. So I ended up at 24 with a business that literally had people lining up out the door. It was open 12 hours a day. It was a tanning and waxing salon, so back in the tanning era. And we had people lining up out the door, and we would book out like weeks in advance too. And I believe 100% of the success of that came down to the simple systems that we put in place. So what I mean by that is every single person that walked in that door knew exactly what to expect. So they knew what service they'd get. They knew who they'd get. It'd be my business partner or myself, or any staff would make sure they were introduced to. They knew exactly how they were going to be waxed exactly the same way, because we made sure everything was the same. They knew and again, this is back in the day, they'd have a solarium. We'd always have a minty on the pillow. We would clean the beds exactly the same way. If a staff member came, they had to do exactly the same way we did it. There was a full system to follow. Even though it was really simple, that wasn't rocket science. That was what I believe was the success of our business, because it was always the same. The standard was always exactly the same. But after like 5 years in this business, we did start to make money, and we made it successful. I was working 12-hour days. I wanted to start a family, and my business partner was in a different position to what I was. So that's when I sort of had to, I knew there had to be a way to combine motherhood and business as well. And back then we didn't have the courses or the webinars or the memberships or Google or, all those sorts of things that we could have now to work out how to do it. We literally had to just try and work it out. So my husband and I came up with this solution that we thought would be a great idea to purchase the leasehold and freehold of a motel. We thought it'd be a great lifestyle. We thought we'd be able to work together, we'd bring up babies together, we'd be home with the kids all day, in between working, and we could support each other that way. 5 years of doing that, again, built up a really successful business, but it was 5 years, 2 babies, staff that stole $50,000 off us, working days that felt like 24/7, and never doing anything as a family of four. And actually nearly divorced at that, because working with my husband was not the best idea for me. We decided to sell that motel, but again, so many lessons learned, and I wouldn't change any of it. And it led me to really work out what I wanted and how I wanted to structure my days and what sort of lifestyle I did want as well. So that was, huge lessons too. So that's when we moved to our dream coastal location, which is where I live now in Barn Heads. And I really put everything I'd learned into this next business. I'm the kind of person that's always really trusted my gut instinct as well. And every time I have listened to my gut instinct, it's always been right. So again, I know it's not about organization, but when you have those thoughts, when you have that feeling in your stomach and that gut instinct, always listen to it, because believe me, in business, in life, in motherhood, all of it, it's generally always right. So not long after we moved and sold our motel, another business opportunity actually presented itself. And my head actually said, don't do it. But my gut instinct was so strong. I can't even tell you, it was so strong saying that I should. And to be transparent too, again, it was in the network marketing space, and I'm no longer actually in that space anymore. That's another story. I've actually done a YouTube training sort of on that as well. But, I saw how so many people were running the business, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't how I could see myself doing it. None of it appealed to me. But again, my gut instinct kept saying, do this. This is it. There is another way to run this business. There is another system you could put in place. So, I live in, again, a really small town. Like, we don't even have traffic lights here. Everyone knows everyone. It's one of those towns. And I had all of this resistance, thinking, I personally don't know anyone doing this type of business successfully how I want to. People are super snobby here. They're super judgmental. And I didn't think it was even a real business. But again, the gut instinct was so overwhelming, I did it anyway. And this is when I used everything I have learned from other businesses, the simple systems that I knew worked, but was also missing for most people I worked with and coached. And, that is, you need to have a system in your home, and you need to have a system in your business. And no one was teaching this stuff. No one teaches us, we sort of mimic off our parents and what they've done, or we learn along the way, or we learn the hard way, but no one's given us this system to make sure we've got a home management system that it runs smoothly, so we can work, or we can run a business, or even just run it full time at home. Like, they're not teaching us this really in school. Like, you get home ec on how to cook a few foods, but no one's actually giving us a system to implement to make it work. And most people that I come across, or most women that I've worked with, is they stop their dreams, they stop their businesses because they want to make all of this money, or they want to be successful, or they want to have choices, but they can't see how they could do it running, alongside running a home, or alongside raising babies, or alongside raising teenagers, or even no kids as well. So I have the simplest of simple systems to follow that anyone, could walk into your home or walk into your business. If you evaporated overnight, not that you're going to, or if you wanted to travel overseas, or if you want to walk away and go to a conference, that someone could just come into your home and know exactly what they need to do, and it's not all going to fall apart. And that, you also don't have to be physically working to make money too. So that's what I did. I made it my personal mission to create a system that I could follow and anyone could follow, that felt good, that was easy. I created one for my home. I created one for my business, and it worked. I ended up going to the top 1% of my company in 17 months. I had $1 million sales months, go through my business each and every month for a year. I traveled the world. I created a team of thousands of women. I spoke on all the big stages while raising a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at the time, and obviously getting them through to teenage years. I, renovated a house in that time. I live in an organized home. I didn't do any of this full time. And even 7 years into building that online business, I then started creating other businesses alongside it, creating multiple, income streams as well. So it does work and it can be done. And that's what I wanted to prove, for people out there going, you've got to choose one or the other. You don't. You can have both. So that's what I now teach. It's all my systems in my membership I use and how anyone can implement them, to live an organized life, to live a simple, simplify your life, live a wealthy life. I give all of these templates and tools I use, and I created some done for you ones. So even if you don't have a business, the home management system alone will change your life. If you've ever wanted to start a business, you also get a playbook to give you the exact steps how to do that as well. So you don't have to think about, where to start. And not only have I tried and tested these systems, but clients I have and that are in my membership too have had amazing results. I've had other women and mums go on to use my systems in business and also get to the top 1% of the company, become six-figure earners. And I've had 3 women that I've also worked with using my morning routine alone, which I'll give you a bit of insight to that as well, manifest over $1 million each. One of them actually manifested $40 million. So, and that's no word of a lie. And I'll explain what she did. I've helped women get their time back in their days, be more present with their kids and be able to breathe again because they have decluttered their homes in a realistic way as well. So who wants to know where to get started? So that's what I want to share with you today and sort of what I did and give you a couple of things that you could implement straight away without obviously overwhelming you too. And I honestly believe you can have it all if maybe you don't do it all or put some systems in place too. You need to learn how to automate things. You need to learn how to delegate some things and you need to learn how to communicate as well. And that's how I believe you can have it all. And, call me delusional if you want. I don't think I am. I believe all of us on this call or all of us listening to this webinar can live a really full life. I believe I do get to be a present mum. I I am a great wife. I am a good friend. I'm a good sister. I'm a good daughter. I'm $1 million business owner and I have time for myself too. Okay. But I had to let go of the idea that it will happen organically. Okay. I always say to people, save that for your veggie patches. This stuff doesn't happen organically. You can't just hope and wish and pray that, oh, my home's going to be fine and the kids will be great and everyone knows what they need to do. Like there has to be an intention there and you have to, some people get, and even some clients I've worked with, when I first tell them to put these systems in place, they feel like they're being a little bit too controlled or it's too controlling. There is so much flexibility in this, but you do have to be intentional. You do have to be planned. If this is the result you want, you do have to be planned and you have to be okay with becoming a different version of yourself. Because I think sometimes we keep thinking we can be the same person and get the same, get a different result. We can't. We have to be a different version of ourselves. So whether that is getting up a little bit earlier or, doing things a little bit differently, we have to be okay with that. So let me share with you the operating systems I have created to organize my entire life and my business too. And, what we want to do, or what I want to teach you to do is to close all the tabs in your brain and put them in one place because and particularly as women, again, I don't want to stereotype, but it's a known fact, as women, we try and carry all of this mental load in our head. And there's a lot of things we cannot control in our life. I am flexible, and I am open to change and even if I put something in my calendar, things can change. That's okay. And I'm not saying that I have everything figured out. I'm still learning as I go. But, when we control some of the controllables, things become that little bit easier. So what I've created, and part of what you get in my membership is a life HQ and a business HQ. But today I'm just going to share some of the life HQ, things, some of the systems I put in there. And you might listen to this and think that sounds good and that's great for you, great for you, Danny, but I don't have time for this stuff. I'm already too busy. I'm too overwhelmed to even, start something. But just by implementing like a few of these things, it's going to make your life easier, I promise you. So I just want you to imagine if you always knew where, and again, this is nothing to do with business, this is home, but imagine if you always knew where your keys were or the kids, were never asking where anything was or what's for dinner, again, like if you just cleared that mental space up. And what if you had every login and document at your fingertips every time you needed them. You know, when you go to log in, you go, I can't remember my password again. Or what if all of your self-care appointments for you and your whole family were scheduled on repeat for the whole year at the times you actually wanted them, not trying to get those appointments you want, instead of being, sorry, I forgot, or I'm late, or I'm so stressed, or I don't have time to add another thing to my plate. You're not paying those late fees all the time. What, instead of being that person, you became a different person, an organized person. And this system is not about perfection too. It's not about controlling the things you can control. It's just when life happens, and I get that. I just don't want you to be overwhelmed when life does happen too. And I just want you to be able to close all of the tabs and all of that mental load. So before I had systems in place, I was just trying to get through each day by winging it. Then all of a sudden what happened was, because I was just on my own, it was me running my business, and then I had other humans to look after, and I had a bigger business I wanted to create, and I felt like I was never getting anything done properly. I felt like nothing was in its place, and I felt everything was too cluttered. Bills weren't getting paid on time. I had toys everywhere. I was overspending on all the kids' stuff. Nothing in my house had an actual home, and I just couldn't find things and get them quickly too. So I was wasting all this time, all of the time, looking for things. Even in my business too, I might be I was running out the door and I'm trying to print out things last minute, or I was trying to get products, together, just before trying to get out the door. And in my head, I thought the only way I could get, on top of this was to be born naturally organized too. And I wasn't born naturally organized. I don't know if any of us, I think we're all born the same way. It's just the habits we developed. It was something I worked on all the time and felt like I used to be a person, but when I had kids, I just felt like it wasn't possible for me. It was just too much to do. And then I was worried, like, do I have to have this really strict schedule as well and be the fun police and not enjoy any of it, and, be really regimented, because I didn't want that either. Like, I still wanted to be the fun mum, and, and not a friend that everybody sort of rolled their eyes at as well. And I thought the only way to do these things was to keep a strict schedule that I can't deviate from, or have this ongoing, to-do list. And what happened was, no matter how I tried, things got worse. I felt like my business was getting busier and I couldn't scale it any bigger. I felt like I just had, to do more and more. And I felt like I was, even neglecting my kids sometimes. I felt like I was neglecting my husband. And it was like the harder I worked, the harder it got. And I was slowly moving further away from the life I was trying to create and that I was trying to get away from when I had the motel. But I didn't want to give up, and I was prepared to try something different. So again, just ask yourself the question, are you prepared to try something new with an open mind? Or are you thinking, I have tried that, it didn't work, she can't show me anything better? Or are you prepared to be like, that different person? And I just want you to, for a moment, like, imagine you had a system to constantly keep up, with the house chores or with the washing, or you had the exact schedule you need to fit in all the tasks and complete all of your, lists each week. You had a balance between home and work, and your house didn't fall apart if you went away or in the process of all of it. And you can get everything done because you knew how to manage your time. Okay. And honestly, as mums, as women, we do carry this massive, mental load, and it is a lot. Our minds are constantly racing, trying to manage a million things at one time. Where are the kids? Do they have everything for school? What business task do I have to do? What's for dinner? Have I got that from the groceries? School-related responsibilities. Is the uniform paid? Is the uniforms washed? The bills paid? Have I got all those, dental appointments booked in? All other plants watered? Are my plants dying? The rubbish bins, social commitment, social media, all of it. Like, there's so much going on. And you can see here, when I refer to the mental load, what it refers to is that invisible and often unpaid thinking, emotional work that we have. And as, again, typically women, we carry in managing, trying to organize all different aspects of family life and household responsibility. And as you can see, it includes like a massive task, a massive list here as well. So, and again, I know a lot of us have people to help out with that, but this is often the mental load that a lot of us, are carrying around too. So the first tip, I believe, to organize your life and work is work out your vision, why you are actually doing it each and every day. Like, is like I believe is the first thing in the morning is having an intentional morning routine. So it doesn't have to be something you stick to every single day, but having one planned out, even if you get one thing done on that morning routine, I can tell you you'll be winning your day. And I can tell you by some of my clients implementing this first, like just getting a morning routine right, has completely changed their life. So what happens overnight when you go to sleep? It's like your brain resets. It's like your whole body resets. How you start your morning is going to be how you finish off your day. And I know things go a bit funny during the day, and sometimes we can get off course during the day. But if you get a few things done first thing in the morning that you wanted to, and have that intentional morning routine, I promise you it will transform your life. And this is where I've had two of my clients manifest $1 million from their morning routine. And one of them, as I said, manifest $40 million. And that is just by being intentional. And again, we can't just wing it and hope for the best. We have to work out what are the things we need to get done in that first 30 minutes, in the 30 minutes, even to an hour, they're going to move the needle for us. Now, you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to wake up at 5 a.m., but you may need to if that's where you need to get some things done. If you need to get things done before your family wakes up. I know 4 years ago, I was getting up at 5 a.m. and I did that every single day for 3 years because I wanted to create another business and I couldn't find time during the day to do it. And I knew I could do that in that first 30 minutes of my day, the things that I needed to do. I also knew that I couldn't get up on my own, that I would hit the snooze button. So I spoke to my sister and she started getting up with me. We got in a Zoom together and we create things. And then I ended up creating a 5 a.m. club that anyone who wanted to get up then could get on, because I would be there starting a Zoom. And it made me get up because I knew I had to, because I knew people were relying on me to start a Zoom. So that's what I did. And then, now I get up at 6 o'clock, and I'll share sort of my morning routine in a moment with you. But 6 o'clock is my morning routine because my kids are a little bit older, and for what I'm trying to create at the moment, I don't need to, although I've just been reassessing my morning routine. And I am going to get up at 5:45 because I am missing a meditation during the day. I believe first thing in the morning for me is when I benefit the most. I've got some big goals and big visions at the moment, and I really want to meditate on that. So I'm going to pop it in that, first 15 minutes. Now, again, one of my obsessions is actually studying super successful people. And I have studied super, like highly, highly organized people as well. I've studied healthy people. And I can tell you the secret is in the way they start their day and what they're filling their minds with first thing in the morning. So just have a think about yourself at the moment. What does your morning look like, that first 30 minutes or that first hour? Is it chaos? Is it running behind? Is it screaming at kids? Is it rush, rush, rush? Or is it calm? Is it time to yourself? Is it really thinking about being intentional about what you're trying to create? So I'll give you an example of mine, and then I want you to think about how you could change yours and what time you might need to get up to do that. Because what are you showing your subconscious mind and the universe, whatever you believe, like what are you showing exactly in the morning? As I said, I used to get up at 5 a.m. But now I don't. So at the moment I get up at 6 a.m., I am changing that to 6:45. 6:05, like I'm literally intentional. 6:05, I have a coffee. 6:10, I sit and I work on my future self journal. Now, it's actually not sitting at my desk. It's sitting up in the family room because that's where I do it. And I was going to show it, but I've created a future self journal. That's what my other clients have used, that actually helped them be intentional about the money that they are creating too. And it's really, really powerful. And that's what I use. So I do that for a half an hour. 6:40, I actually make my kids' school lunches still. Even though they are older, they could do their own. I know that. I just keep thinking they're nearly not going to be doing school lunches anymore. And instead of I have to, I go, I get to, and I actually enjoy that time. I enjoy making their lunches. I enjoy them being get up and they can just get their lunch box and pop it in their bag. 6:50, I unpack the dishwasher. 7 o'clock, I put on a load of washing. I take anything out that's for dinner too. So I check what's going to be for dinner that night. If I've got meat in the freezer I need to take out, I take it out then. I also put on a podcast at this time too, and that's what I'm listening to. 7:15, I make the bed and I get dressed in usually my activewear, because then at 7:30, I go for an hour walk on the beach with my dog every morning with my husband. So that's a great time too, that I realize I need that time to connect and chat with him. So that works for us. 8:30, I have a shower. 9 o'clock, I do a house reset. Which is for me is making sure everything's tidy for the day, because that's how my brain, I can't work if there's things messy that I know I need to do. And at 9:30, I start work in my office. I do any calls, any coaching calls or whatever. So I've like nailed down every like minute of my morning for that first from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And that's my morning routine. And again, I've got a whole template for this in the membership that I give people to work out theirs. But my routine have just become my habits that I don't have to think about it anymore. But when you start a morning routine, if you only just started doing one of those things each and every morning, and then adding two and then adding three, they will become your habits and they will change the way your whole day goes. So I believe for anyone being even organized, being successful, whatever it is, nail your morning routine and what that will do. Obviously, I have a nighttime routine as well, but it does for me. I think the morning one is the first place I want you to start. And yeah, and work out sort of what works for you there. So that's that one. And then I want you all to start using too, the second thing that is going to help you get organized is have a project management system. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about that. I use and I teach Trello. So that's what I use, but there's so many you can use. You can use Monday, you can use Asana, you can use Notion. There's lots of them. And a lot of them are really pretty and a lot of them are aesthetically beautiful to look at. For me, Trello works. It is really simple. The way my brain works, I like the way it's set out. It doesn't look too confusing and too hard for me to understand. With a project management system, a lot of people get confused because they think that should just be for business, but it's not. I believe these systems are great for managing your life, especially if you are not the only one in your house. Like if you've got a husband as well, if you've got kids as well, if you've got a virtual assistant, if you've got a personal assistant, if you're trying to create something, you know, or say if you've even got a nanny, or say if you've got someone that's a house sitter, or anyone, if you've got a project management system for your home and everything that you do is in one place and easy to find and that you can share with other people, again, it completely changes your life. And this is what I'm going to give you a template at the end. If you stay to the end, I'll give you my house management system in Trello. So you can just literally copy and paste it into yours and fill out all the details you need there as well. But, you know, even if you've got a house cleaner, if you've got someone that does anything, you can put everything in here, how your whole house runs, that you don't have to explain anything to anyone. They could literally go into your project management system and see everything that they need there. So how I would start with a project management system for your home is I'd want you to think about everything, every single task that needs to be done in your home to make your home run. And again, this is quite overwhelming for a lot of people. So I have created a daily dashboard or a daily checklist that I'm going to email you with the replay of this webinar after the call. And so I'll give it to you for free. And it's everything that I have thought of that you need to run a home. Some of you won't need everything in it, but if you go, I can't even think, I don't even know where to start. I've done the thinking for you, and I've created this whole checklist. So that's the first place I'd start, is just getting everything out that takes to run your home. And then you can transfer it to a project management system like Trello. Okay. And this is that's the easiest. And this is the easiest place to start, but this is the biggest place where I see most people feel overwhelmed, why most people get exhausted, why most people end up in a mess, why most people end up unorganized, is because what happens is they've got all these things to do to run a house, and running a house is actually a full-time job in itself. But most people don't allocate everything that needs to be done in a home and give it like time to do that. It's like we allocate all these appointments and we've got to work and all these things, but it's like we think that this time is going to magically appear when we do all the things to run a house. We really need to allocate it a time and give it a system to do, to make it to get it done and actually get it done properly. And I promise you, if you do this and if you plug into a project management system for your home, it will change the game for you and you'll get so much more done. You will feel so much better and you'll feel just so much more in control of everything. So what happens once you've written everything down and needs to be done, we then transfer it to your productivity system, whether as I said, I use Trello, you might be using something else. And as I said, I've created a life hub, and this has the power to change your life. In here, everything will be in one place. You can input everything from what rooms need to be cleaned to what is for dinner, when it's for dinner, with all of the links to all your favorite, your favorite family foods that they have, shopping lists in here. You can put birthdays in here, birthday presents, things like even now links for Christmas presents when you think of them, appointments for the whole year that need to be done. So you can have all of your appointments done for the next half of the year, even going into 2025. You could pre-do all of your appointments. If you feel like your home needs to be cluttered, you can go what you need to declutter first, when you're going to actually do it, how to do that. Bills that can be automated, everything. Like, and in the beginning, as I said, you can be tempted to be a bit overwhelmed, but this is the beauty of being in the membership too, and why I've created this space, because I've done all the hard work for you. I've done all the setting up for you too. So you could do this all yourself, jump in and do it all now. But if you don't want to, I have those systems in place too. You can just plug in and then just add sort of all of your stuff in too. Yeah, I was thinking about this too. I was that person when the mail came in, I'd put it in a pile and deal with it later. Or I'd take all these screenshots on my phone that I'd never get to, or I'd register for that thing and forget my login for it, or forget what I've registered, or forget what subscriptions I've got going on, or how much I'm paying. I get it, like life happens, but that's why I've got this Life Hub. It's designed to have everything in one place so you don't have to think about it. And look, some of you on the call might go, this seems really boring. Like, this does not excite me. This stuff excites me. This is what I love. Like, this is what I froth on. I love having everything done and everything in one place, and just taking that mental load off. It just makes you feel so good. And this is how you create big businesses, and this is how you create fun homes to live into. So this is sort of an example, like, as I said, the Trello board is the example I use. There are so many out there. So this is, I've got an example sort of the Life Hub in there, and which you'll get. You can go into each one and it's done for you. I've got a daily dashboard in there too. So I've got something every single day. I can go to my daily dashboard. When you go to sit down to do something, or sit down to work, or sit down and go, I don't even know what to clean today. And you're going from room to room to room to room. Everything's like done in here for you, so you can sort of stay on task and get one thing done and get it finished. Or when you go, I've got to find, I don't know where my passport is, or what's my license number, or where's that insurance thing, or where's my marriage certificate, or all your personal information. Like, you can put all of this in one space. It's like getting all of your papers and filing cabinets and putting it into that one space, and you will feel incredible when that's all done. So having a productivity system, and then I want you to start thinking about too, what are some things that you can automate, because putting things in automation in your home, again, will be game changing. So think about things, and sorry, this is going to simplify your life like a lot too. Like, what are products that you buy weekly or monthly or quarterly by subscription? And if you do this, what's the worst thing that can happen? That you've got too much of something, which is a good, that's fine, too much product to have. So I do everything from all of my regular appointments on automation. In the home, I've got toilet paper on automation, dog food on automation, all my bills are paid on automation too. I've got all my car maintenance booked in. Anything for home maintenance, like if I get my windows cleaned twice a year, so I've got that done mid-year. I've got that booked in for Christmas Eve already, knowing that I'll have people over for Christmas Day. I don't have to think about and try and get that in now. All of my bills, birthday cards, making sure you've got birthday cards, presents, saving money. You can get water delivered, you can get toiletries delivered, you can get all of your health personal products on subscription as well, food on subscription. Just think, the best way to work out your automation and what you can automate is think of the repetitive tasks that you do in your home and in your life, and how you could automate any of those. Okay, that's how you'll get organized. Everyone wants more time in their day, and we live in this fast-paced world, and our to-do lists feel like, especially as parents, like they're never ending. So, there are some things that you can automate that will change your life, will give you back so much time too. And also, coordinating family, your calendars with family, paying bills, shopping lists, meal planning, there's so many things you can do there. So that's what I want you to start thinking about there. And then, as I said, that you will have a daily dashboard as well. So in Trello, it's about having this daily dashboard. So it's about getting everything out of your head to start purging all of that mental load. And that's what this checklist is going to help you with too. Just jot down everything you can, and then we're going to give it a time and a place, which is what I'm going to get to next, which is time blocking with a digital calendar. Okay. And this is a third piece of the puzzle to getting organized. And it is time blocking by using a digital calendar. And I was, again, you've got to be willing to change. I was a paper diary girl, and I love a paper diary. Like, I love the aesthetics of it. I love how pretty it looks. I love it sitting on my desk. I love writing in it. I love, highlighting it. Like, I love all of that stuff. But the reality of it is we don't carry like this A4 diary around with us in our pockets every day. Okay. But one thing we do carry around in our pockets and we have with us 24/7 is our phones. Okay. So, and I really struggled to change. I'm like, no, I'm not a digital person. I want to sit there on my, but when I did this, everything was just so much easier. It was so much quicker. I saved so much time, and I didn't forget as many things as well. Okay. So time blocking, and when I say time blocking and using a digital calendar, I don't mean just adding in your work time and when you're going to the gym or when you've got appointments. I mean adding absolutely everything you do into a digital calendar. And when you do this, it is key to simplifying your life and managing your time effectively and just getting organized. So I put in everything from when I'm going to sleep. Again, things change, but the time I go to sleep, the time I get up, the time I do my morning routine, the time I'm going to do laundry, the time I'm going to clean my house, the time I'm going to do a house reset, the time I work, the time I'm with my family, the time I'm prepping dinner. Like, if we don't give those things a time, they don't get done. So that's what I treat my digital calendar as. If it's not in there, it will not happen. Okay, so that's how I want you to think. So time blocking is where everyone needs to also start in organizing their life. It is it is one of the most important steps and the key to organizing and simplifying your time effectively. It is so powerful when it is done properly. Okay, it will completely transform the way. Well, it completely transformed the way I approach my day. I didn't have to think anymore. Like, it's like I had all this space in my head because everything was in one place. And you can put things on repeat. You can get notifications for everything. And I do this for my home life and my business. When I did do this, my home life started running more smoothly. I scaled my business to create those $1 million sales months. I was able to travel and my home didn't fall apart. And it's just, so it's so much easier to do. It's how I got control back in my life. So what I do, and again, everyone will be different. The days are different. Every Saturday morning, it's my ritual to, I sit down, I have a cup of coffee in bed, and I go through my calendar for the next week. So I update everything. I can just sit in bed and do this. It's easy. I add anything, I delete anything. And then when the kids get up, I double check with them because my kids are older now too. So I, double check with them what's on there for their week. If I have to drive them anywhere, if I have to be anywhere that I don't know about, then I can fill my husband in on, what he needs to do for me or for the kids or whatever. So, and if you do have a partner, or even kids that you could sync your calendar with too, to make even life easier. My husband has no clue, like no clue. He barely knows how to text, let alone get on a calendar system. He has no social media. Like, he's like I actually think he's like from the olden days, but so that's okay. I'm fine to take control of all of that. My kids are better. But if your partner does use a calendar, sync it with each other too. It's so much better. It's the same with the communication. And same with to-do lists. Like, I don't believe in to-do lists because I believe you might have a calendar and everything booked in, but then you've got these long to-do lists, but that to-do list needs to be somewhere in your calendar to actually get it done, or it's not going to get done, because when are you going to find time to do that to-do list? So put the things, like I have paper and pen next to me all the time because things are always coming into my head, so I can write it down, but then I transfer it to my calendar and I allocate a time of when I'm going to actually get that done, or it's not going to get done. So that's, if you do need paper and pen like I do, because thoughts jump into my head all the time and I don't always have time to stop and go to my phone and do that. So I write it down, but then I always do transfer it somewhere as well. So That is huge, huge key. So I do want to just share before I sort of jump into some things, some feedback I've had so far from people that have been in my membership. So my membership was called An Organised Life. I've now opening the doors today for it's called the CEO Society, and there's a few reasons why. Because it's not just about having an organised life. There's so many things I'm going to be sharing in there as well. But Katrina Andrews, some of you on the call may know her. She may be on the call too as well. I actually can't see all the people on the call, but she did say ever since joining the membership, she does feel so much organised. It's taken away some of the mental load, and she's actually shocked at the various new systems, she's put in place. And again, I know some of these are simple, but we're just not implementing them. When you implement them, that's the key. Probably her three biggest areas of improvements have been her diary and calendar management, a Sunday night reflection. So she does hers on a Sunday night, and the planning, and they have it. She did great in the declutter challenge too. So she's got a place for most things too. The kitchen top drawer is no longer a messy junk drawer. The systems and processes Danny teaches are simple and effective, and it's the best investment. I love my membership and what I learn. And it's lovely. Danny's calm and non-judgmental. I have got no judgment to anyone because I've been where you all are. And the accountability that you get within the group. And that is a big thing with a lot of this stuff. Like, it's great to want to do it for ourselves, but having the accountability is huge too. So Vicky is another member. She loved being part of Organised Life membership too. Dan really knows his stuff, and having the support of the other members inspires and challenges you to keep going, which is, I think that's a huge part of it. Even for someone who thinks they are organised, there's always a lot more to learn and improve with systems to run a house and to run a business. Dan is incredible with her content and structure. A happy member, Vicky. So thanks, Vicky. And gorgeous Annie said, working with Danny has been a transformative experience on my journey as a mother, wife, and successful entrepreneur. Danny has not only helped me navigate the challenge of juggling kids and an online business, but it's also encouraged me to prioritize me and my personal growth. Her kindness, support, and guidance have been invaluable in helping me find the balance I needed. Through her simple systems, I've learned to manage my time more efficiently, stay organised and make the most of every moment. Danny has a unique ability to not only help you thrive in your professional endeavours, but also pay to embrace the beautiful chaos of motherhood. And her mentorship has truly been a lifetime helping me pour into my business and, most importantly, myself. So that's super lovely. Thank you, Annie. So, by implementing some really simple techniques, and systems, you will find not only do you get control over your time, but you also free up the headspace for things that matter the most, which is, for me, it was quality time with my family. So I'm not missing all of those moments, more productive hours for my business, and just having more joy in my day too, because I wanted to enjoy each day, because we know how short life can be and how things can change in a moment too. So hopefully I've given you some things you can just implement straight away on your own. But if you do want to learn more or be more accountable or get all of the systems too, you may want to join the membership. And as I said, that's what I am offering at the end of this call too. It is for you if you are looking to consistently maintain your home. Create a schedule and systems that work, and declutter and organize your home. Or if you just want to get some routines going that make your life easier for you, have more time to work on your business, and just reduce that to-do list by 95% is what I hope. What you do get in the membership too, just so you do know, is you do get live calls, you get live trainings, and you'll get live coaching from me. You'll get all the templates you need. I do a Q&A session every month. I do hot seat coaching. I do have an accountability call every month. I do have playbooks for you for your home, a playbook for a home management system and a playbook for a business system. I am now, so why I've changed it to the CEO Society, because I am going to be bringing in really successful women in business who are also trying to, or who are running a business alongside motherhood. So I'm going to bring some experts in. You'll also be able to promote your business in here with each other, because I want women supporting women. And so that's what, you'll also get. And it is $97 a month. If you pay monthly, you can stop at any time too, so you're not locked in. And I worked that out too, going $97 a month to get all of that, which is like $24 a week. I spend more on that in coffees in a week, or $3.40 a day to change your life or to get you ahead in what you want to do. So if you're interested, in the membership, it is open today. I am opening it until the 30th of June. It's the last time we are open for 2024. If you do join in the next 24 hours, I am also offering, I have got a course I have created called the Money Manifestation Blueprint. So I'm a big believer, if anybody's in my world, you do know that a big believer in manifestation, the power of the mind, and I have done a lot of programs on that too. So I have got a course that sells separately for $897. If you join the next 24 hours, you do get that for free. And that is helping you reprogram your mindset and your money story that you do have. So, because sometimes it is all well and good to put systems in and get organized or want to create a business, but if the story is we can't do it or you're not worthy of it, you never will be able to. So I do teach people how to reprogram their mindset around money and how to manifest that in, which is also in my Future Self journal as well. If you do join, another bonus I'm offering, if you do join and do the 1 year, so it's $997 for a year, so you get 2 months free. If you do that, you do get a free one-on-one coaching session with me. And I'm also you'll have to message me separately for this because I haven't got it in my automations, but I thought about this morning. I'm actually going to give anyone that joins for the year 2 the free Future Self journal and my money manifestation cards as well. So you will get that also. And that's the morning routine that those women manifested all of that money with. So you will get all of that as well. So if you do want to join, you will get the link in the email. You can go to my website, which is dannystevens.com.au, but you also will be getting the link in an email with a recording of this as well. So I hope I've helped you know where to start with organizing your life. I just want to thank you so much too if you are watching until the end. I hope you've helped you in some way, big or small, or just get you excited for what you are capable, of doing and how you can organize your life and what changes that will make. I do hope to work with you soon or to welcome you into the incredible community if that's what you want to do. I will add the link to the Life Hub in the chat feed in a second. Hopefully I can get that right for that home management system. But any questions you do have, please never hesitate to email me, to reach out on Instagram or DM me there, or even on Facebook as well. I'll always get back to you and answer any questions you do have. But thanks again for spending the last 53 minutes with me. I appreciate you all. And I will drop that in the chat feed now. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. I am still here. It's not pasting, so just give me 1 second. I will pop it in there for you.